Namaste Bitya, myself JVN Neha Seni from Physiotherapy and Diagnostics. Here I am going to tell you about the anatomy of thalamus. This is the location of thalamus in the diencephalon, which is highlighted with red color. There are four major parts of diencephalon: epithalamus, dorsal thalamus, subthalamus and hypothalamus. Epithalamus contains pineal gland and few nearby structures. In this diagram we have highlighted the pineal gland. These are the different views of the brain. This is the superior view, this is the lateral view, and this is the medial view of the brain. Here we find the thalamus. This is the coronal section of the cerebrum. Here we have highlighted the location of the thalamus. Now the diencephalon has two parts: pars dorsalis. It contains thalamus, metathalamus and epithalamus, and pars ventralis, which contains subthalamus and hypothalamus. In between these two we have hypothalamic sulcus. So thalamus, it is a Greek word which means inner room. It is a midline paired structure within the brain between the cerebral cortex and the brainstem. Both in location and neurological connections send fibers out to cerebral cortex in all directions. Functions are relay of sensations except olfactory system, spatial sense, regulation of consciousness, regulation of sleep and alertness. Great sensory gateway to cerebral cortex. Damage to thalamus can lead to permanent coma. So this is the location of the thalamus in the brain. This is the cadaveric view of the brain, where we have shown the position of the thalamus below the corpus callosum. The two thalami on each side of slit-like cavity of third ventricle. It is 3 cm in length, 1.5 cm broad, and longitudinal axis is approximately 30 degrees oblique to midline. It has two ends, anterior and the posterior end. Anterior end is known as tubercle of thalamus, posterior end is known as pulvinar, which overhangs the medial and the lateral geniculate bodies, superior colliculi and their brachia. Then the surfaces are four: superior, inferior, medial and lateral. So here we can see the two ends, anterior and this is posterior end. Then this posterior end is having lateral and the medial geniculate bodies. Then the four surfaces: superior, inferior, medial and lateral surfaces. This is medial surface and this is lateral surface. So this is the coronal section. Here we have seen the thalamus, which is having the superior, and this is the inferior surface of the thalamus. This is again the thalamus. In this, the thalamus is divided into groups: the anterior group, the medial group, the lateral group and the intralaminar group. These are the different nuclei. The lateral surface of the thalamus is between the medial boundary of the posterior limb of the internal capsule. So we can say this is forming the boundary of internal capsule. Internal capsule is formed by the body of caudate nucleus, stria terminalis. So this is the internal organization of the thalamus, how the thalamus appears. It is composed of grey matter. Grey matter means the collection of nerve cell body and the blood vessels. And in the middle it is interrupted by two vertical sheets of white matter, which is shown in white line with which is shown with white color, which is a capital Y-shaped structure. And there is external medullary lamina, which is located on the lateral side, shown in the image. It separates the radicular nucleus from the rest of the thalamic mass. It contains thalamocortical and corticothalamic fibers. Then there is internal medullary lamina, which is Y-shaped band and divides the thalamus into anterior, medial and lateral nuclear groups. It contains fibers from which is connecting the thalamic nuclei and other thalamic structures. And it also neuronal connections in this lamina, which is known as intralaminar nuclei. Now the subdivisions of the thalamus. There is internal medullary lamina, which is Y-shaped sheet of white matter dividing the thalamus into anterior part, Anterior part contains anterior thalamic nuclei, which receives mammillothalamic tract and also receive reciprocal connections with the cingulate gyrus and the hypothalamus. Its function is to concern with emotion and recent memory. Then the medial part. It contains dorsomedial nucleus and several smaller nuclei. Dorsomedial nucleus has two-way connections with the prefrontal cortex and hypothalamic nuclei with endothalamic nuclei. Its function is integration of somatic, visceral, and olfactory informations and relating them to one's emotional feeling and subjective states. Lateral part is subdivided into dorsal and ventral tier. So here we can see the dorsal and the ventral tier. The dorsal tier is again divided the lateral posterior nucleus and the pulvinar. So dorsal tier includes lateral dorsal nucleus, lateral posterior nucleus, and the pulvinar. So these are the three parts of dorsal tier. They are interconnected with other thalamic nuclei, parietal lobe, cingulate gyrus, occipital and temporal lobes. Their function is not well known and mostly associated with emotions, sensory integration, and vision. So in the midline, it forms the part of limbic system concerned with memory and arousal. Now the functional group of the thalamus. There are specific, non-specific, and reticular nuclei, which is found in the thalamus. The specific nuclei, they receive the input from certain specific ascending tracts, project specific cortical areas. They contain ventral tier, median lateral geniculate bodies. The VP nucleus, that is VPL and VPM, these are receiving afferent fibers from trigeminal lemniscus, solitary tract, and efferent to the post-central gyrus, that is area number 312. So these are the relay stations for impulses from face and head and taste buds. Then the VPL nucleus, they receive afferent fibers from medial lemniscus and spinal lemniscus, and they gives fibers to post-central gyrus again, that is area number 312, and they are the relay station for the exteroception like pain, touch, and temperature, as well as proprioception. Then the specific functional group includes the ventral posterior, ventral anterior, medial geniculate body, then lateral geniculate body. So this table shows the afferent and the efferent connections for these specific nuclei and their relay stations, that is which type of fibers they are carrying. Then this is the non-specific functional group. It do not receive afferent from ascending tracts but have abundant connections with the encephalic nuclei, and they project to cortical association areas in frontal and the parietal lobes. So these are the different nuclei like anterior nucleus, medial dorsal, lateral posterior, and pulvinar. Then the reticular nuclei, they are intralaminar, they are found in the intralaminar lemniscus, and these are the different nuclei like reticular nuclei, intralaminar, and centromedian nuclei. This diagram is showing the different connections of the thalamus with nearby structures. This is again the connections of ventral and lateral group of nuclei of the thalamus. Now the functions of thalamus: sensory integration, relay station for all the sensory pathways except olfaction, capable of recognition of pain, temperature, and tactile sensations. Tactile means touch sensations. It influences voluntary movements through basal ganglia and the cerebellum, cerebral cortex, corticonuclear, and corticospinal pathways. Through ascending and activating system, it maintains the state of wakefulness and alertness. The impulses received from hypothalamus projected to prefrontal and cingulate gyrus, that is determination of mood, recent memory and emotions, influences electrical activity of the cerebral cortex. Then here we have the metathalamus, which is the medial geniculate body. It is oval shaped body, lies under the cover of pulvinar. So this is the pulvinar, that is the posterior end of the thalamus. Below that we have the metathalamus, that is the medial geniculate body. It is connected to the inferior colliculus by inferior brachium. It receives most of the fibers of lateral lemniscus. It is one of the main station in the auditory pathway. So metathalamus includes the medial and the lateral geniculate body. Medial geniculate body is the relay station for auditory pathway, and lateral geniculate body is the relay station for the visual pathway. Medial geniculate body receives the fibers from lateral lemniscus and efferent to the auditory areas. Lateral geniculate body receives fibers from visual pathway, that is, it receives fibers from retina of the eye, and efferents are sent to the visual cortex of the cerebral lobe. So this is the lateral geniculate body, relay station for the visual pathway. Then the sensory fibers are mostly thalamocortical fibers. They radiate from thalamus and in different direction to reach widespread areas of the cerebral cortex. This constitutes the thalamic radiation. These thalamic radiations can be superior, inferior, anterior and posterior thalamic radiations. Then the applied thalamic syndrome, also known as Dejerine-Roussy disease, after Joseph Julius Dejerine and Gustave Roussy. It is due to the vascular lesions of the ventral posterior part of the thalamus. It will lead to disturbance of somatosensory aspect and contralateral impairment of proprioceptive sensations, touch and pain and temperature. Next is thalamic hand. It is an ethioid posture of the contralateral hand, that is thalamic hand, may appear 2 or more weeks following the lesions in its territory. In this condition, the hand is flexed, pronated at the wrist, metacarpophalangeal joints, and extended at the interphalangeal joint. Fingers may be abducted. Thumb is either abducted or pushed against the palm. This is how the thalamic hand appears. This is also the alien hand syndrome. Alien hand syndrome is defined as unwilled, uncontrollable movement of the upper limb, together with failure to recognize ownership of a limb in the absence of visual clues. And the syndrome was first described by Goldstein in 1908. And the questions related to this topic are: write short note on thalamic connections. So you have to mention about the different connections of the different nuclei of the thalamus. Then next, alien hand syndrome. Then for a file, you have to draw this diagram, this colored diagram, and label all the nuclei of the thalamus. So this completes your topic, thalamus. Thank you.